So I am traveling to one of my favorite towns to have an amazing, beautiful Friday morning. And what I would like to make this broadcast about is, first of all, I love my friend. I love my friend. Because just to be able, my first time seeing her, I don't want to say code switch because code switch kind of sounds a little negative, but my first time seeing her, like in her professional capacity, and I'm like, ooh, okay, Miss Duggar, okay. But I really think it's time for us to change the narrative as melanated people that we can't get along with each other. I think we need to change that narrative. I think we need to exercise wisdom. I think we need to exercise tenacity. I think we need to exercise awareness of how some individuals try to puppet us and not allow ourselves to be on nobody's puppet string. I think it's time for that. I really think it's time for that. So I had an interaction with a very intelligent black woman, and like she just flipped. It went from "I got you" to "Sorry, this is not gonna work." The reason, because people were out of order. People were asking things that were just out of order to ask. Perfect example, a case that was before the court over 20 years ago, that was dismissed by the court, that was nonviolent, had nothing to do with theft, had nothing to do with anything that pertains to the nature of that particular company or business. They wanted a statement about why. Why do y'all think that was dismissed over 20 years ago? First of all, the statute of limitations are over for it. Second of all, it has nothing to do with anything that pertains to this business. But you want a statement about it? So that was my first alarm with this particular company. And I was like, yeah, if this is that type of company, I don't know. I don't think it's going to fit. But then I did some self-reflection, as I always do. I'm always self-reflecting. I did self-reflection. I was like, well, in actuality, I wasn't planning to go back that far into my life. But since I had to go back that far into my life, I was like, wow, I've grown. Wow, there's some things that I still need to grow from. At that time, my youngest child was alive. I was in an abusive marriage at that time. And I was like, you know what? I've come a long freaking way. But I still had trauma that I needed to release. So I cried, I boo-hooed, I missed my baby girl. I dealt with that all through basically the month of June. And then I said, you know what? I have worked hard to get these licenses by the state to work in this industry. So therefore, I'm going to apply it. And I circled back because I saw the company at an event for us. So when I saw the company at an event for us, and I didn't see the other company that I was considering, I said, well, maybe this company itself, maybe the company itself stands for something good. Let me reach back out to this contact person and let me take accountability for my emotions and let's move forward. And that's what I did. However, either an individual, and I think it was an individual, did not want to see me moving forward in that company. I don't know who the individual is. I suspect it's somebody who does not look like me or look like my contact person. Whoever that individual is, they didn't want to see me move forward. And I don't know who that individual is. I'm not going to take the time to discover who they are. They will show themselves because the main office is now involved. And I let my contact person know I'm going to involve the main office because this is the second time whoever, I don't know if it's licensing, whoever is out of order. First of all, it's out of order to ask about something that the court has already dismissed 20 years ago. That has nothing to do with theft, has nothing to do with violence, has nothing to do with anything. I said something that somebody didn't like in a country that's supposed to have freedom of speech. The police got involved with saying something to somebody that they didn't like 20 years ago. Because I'm sure every person in their 20s says everything perfect. I'm sure Billy and Bob, when they were drinking and acting a fool in those bars, everything that came out of their mouth was correct. I'm sure Billy and Bob never had any interaction in their 20s, in their college days, with the popo. I'm just sure, like, it could only be me, right? Only me that said that. And it wasn't a bar, by the way. It was my home. It was my home that I opened up to a young lady, and she did not want to pay me my money. And I told her to get the heck out. And when she got out, she went and called the cops and told them that I put her the heck out. I don't know what else she told them. I guess she told them she was afraid or whatever. But you was in my house, ma'am. Nobody was here. If I wanted to do anything to you, it would have been done. So you didn't run away. You left because I told you to leave. So anyway, that was the extent of that situation. And the fact that it was even a conversation 20 years later, after I've worked in public safety since 2016. 2016, I've been working in public safety. What is this, 2024? So we're talking about 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. For 8 years, I have worked in public safety. I have to keep the licenses consistent too. Every 2 years, I have to redo and renew my license. 8 years, no issues, aside from a little bit of tardiness here and there. Only reason why I'm not, because I was in a motor vehicle accident and I couldn't keep my post. That's the only reason why. So you mean to tell me those 8 years don't count for nothing? You mean to tell me these whole 20 years don't count for nothing in this particular industry? No, it's a person in particular. They feel like, oh, we got our token, and our token is moving mighty fast, but we got our token person, so we definitely don't want another strong, opinionated, melanated woman up in here. Especially not one that's standing for what she's standing for. Oh, wait a minute. She want to do what? She want to help people. But the company says they want to help people, so how is it a contradiction? Make it clear to me. Make it clear to me. So anyway, whoever this other department is that's out of order, that's asking me this stuff, I answered them. You want to know about reparations for indigenous people? Okay, this is what it is. It's a community spiritual organization. Faith-based is the technical word. Spiritual is my word. Faith-based is the technical word, right? I am an ordained minister. You want to see that? Because I can show you that. Did that over a decade ago. Well, what else do you need to see? We would like to see your bylaws. We would like to see the page. You go to the page, you see my bylaws. That's still not enough. On links on the page and stuff that I did years ago, like doTERRA. doTERRA is a health and wellness company. You want to look at that and ask me, what is that? Ask Google what that is. It's a health and wellness company that I did years ago. What's Asante? It's another health and wellness. Do you see? There's a pattern here. Health and wellness, goodness, empowerment. There's a freaking pattern. Y'all uncomfortable with the pattern? Y'all uncomfortable with the name of the company? Y'all uncomfortable with that? Oh, freaking well. It has nothing to do with my competency. So when I address them directly, Now all of a sudden, oh, I don't think it's a good fit for you. Well, I didn't think it was a good fit back then, but you made it seem because your brown behind was up in here, I was good. But apparently not, because now you're like, oh, well, write a letter of resignation. Write a letter of resignation? I didn't resign, and I went to the main office like I told you I was. And I'm not resigning. This is going to be resolved. Now, how it plays out will tell me what type of company this company actually is. I'm not going to look at what you're doing because I see you're in their grips. You're in their whatever. You're on their payroll, and you got two small children, and I get it. But this don't have nothing to do with you. Me standing up to them, me standing up for myself, has nothing to do with you. So you shouldn't be taking this personal. And you certainly shouldn't be being their pawn. So I asked her, because I've already written business for this company, I asked her, when am I getting paid? Because you told me I would get paid the next day once I finished this interview, which I finished that interview and I passed that interview. And the only thing that's holding me up is the fact that people were uncomfortable with how I answered what they were asking of me. That's what's holding me up. A form, an OBA form. That's what's holding me up, supposedly. So when am I getting paid? And then her response was, oh, 45 days from now is when you'll get paid. How would it go from 24 hours to 45 days? Oh, oh, you one of those. Oh, you really ain't real. You just put on that show like you is. Oh, okay. I'll see. Listen, I didn't ask you. Then they threw in the fact that they had assisted me a little bit. I didn't ask you to assist me. The business that I brought there was substantial. My brothers that I wrote the business for, they were substantial. And they have people to refer me to. And, you know, my ledger is going to grow anyway. But I appreciate the boost. But I didn't even discuss the boost with you. And then she came back at me like, oh, well, I gave you, you ain't going to get that. You just going to get this. I was like, I didn't even ask you about that. What are you talking about? And then she responds to me, oh, it's so sad. It's so sad that you disappeared. Disappeared? I ain't disappeared, bitch. I'm still on the planet. I ain't going nowhere. I'm about to get off this bus, though, and it's live. And I just want to show America before I get off this bus. This beautiful sister, if she don't mind, you mind getting on my live real quick? Huh? You mind getting on my live, sister? See that? We can get along with each other, all right? Thank you. Have a good one. You too, sister. Yeah, we could get along with each other. This narrative that we can't get along with each other is like, I ain't playing it. I ain't playing it. I ain't participating in it. I ain't doing none of it. You're going to see me. You're going to see us, those who want to, because you can't force nobody to do anything. But that's what it is. I'm going to go get my coffee. That's what it is. I had to vent a little bit, and my good friend that I did see, that I did call rather. She's at work, so I couldn't really vent. So I had to come on here. This is what this is. This is what the SupaTea Podcast Show is. The SupaTea Podcast Show is a safe space for venting. And listen. You're uncomfortable with my volume? Get over it. You're uncomfortable with my tenacity? Get over it. That's a you thing. That's a you thing. I am working. I am growing. When I say I'm working on me. I am growing. I am finally realizing that this voice of mine, it's more than entertainment. It is extremely powerful. And absolutely, I'm using it. I am using this voice of mine. And I'm not going to be quiet for a dollar. Oh, if you just, shh. Because you could get so much, shh. Shh. No. And let people continue to mess up our freaking nation. I mean, that's literally what's happening right now. Because how many people were quiet? How many people? How many people, they was like, hey, I got some federal notes for you. I got some money for you. How many people, got my cane stuck in my daggone, what you call it, for quiet. Thank you. How many people? A lot. Many. Many, many, many. Many, many, many were. And for a very long time, I was one of them. Oh, yeah. My great aunt attempted to beat me into submission when I was a young girl. Oh, yeah. Life definitely, up until this point, tried to beat me into submission. Up until this point. Um, it tried. It tried. And let me tell you, if I could tell you why it didn't work, I would tell you, but I just don't know. I have absolutely no idea why when I was young. Hello. Oh, yes, it is. I don't know why. It's out every day, baby. That sun is out every day. It rises every day. Those clouds don't stop the sun now. Know that. Yeah, but I don't know why. I don't know why. Um, the countless behind whoopings I got as a little girl. Why there was something inside of me from then. Something inside of me from then that just would not keep it down. Even when I tried to, oh my God. And I'm telling you, I'm not talking about little taps on the hands, okay? I'm talking about like whoopings. Whoopings. Those type of whoopings. So bad the whoopings was that the neighbors would call the child protective services. And when they would come, it wouldn't be no goddamn scars. They'd be like, oh, we don't see nothing wrong here. And that's how my childhood was. Part of it was. And then life attempted to do similar. But I'm still here. I'm still standing. And guess what? I still have my voice. I still have my voice, and I'm still grateful for the voice that I have. And it's more than just the tonality. There is actually skills in this voice. I'm not gonna like start a Broadway show while I'm walking to get my coffee, though. But yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. And when I really like came into the realization of it, is when I got really interested in comedy. When I got really interested in comedy, and I just would laugh. And I would just notice how, and I would be really mind my business. And this is how I operate because of my spirituality. I am aware, I am present, and in my awareness and presence, I'm also observing at the same time. Good morning.
Good morning. Watch yourself crossing the street because he's getting ready back to pull up because here comes another big one.
Oh, okay. I'm going into
Go ahead,
Starbucks, so
go.
I should make it in there before they
Okay.
come. Thank you. Um, so yeah, I was like, I started like really getting in. So this is what I was saying before I spoke. I got a little distracted. That I'm always observing, you know, and so, whew, and I think that's from public safety, you know, because that's what we gotta do. Like they literally train us to observe and pay us to observe. That's what public safety is about. And can you? I don't have a Snapchat. I look young. I'm not. I am. Um, so I'm gonna stop this live right now because I'm in one of my favorite places, and I'll come back with my cup of coffee.